All right, good morning, good morning. It is Tuesday, March 30th, 2021. I'm Crypto Sonar. Joseph, welcome to the stream. Glad you're all here. Hope you're all strapped in for a very interesting day again in the markets. So let's get into what's going on. And let me turn this down just a little bit for me. I think it changes the volume on you guys though. Anything overnight here? All right. Warnings of more COVID surge coming on. CDC director impending doom. Fighting off tears. I'm scared. Okay. Scared of the flu. All right. Stocks favored in reopening trade. Hit turbulence. Canada to suspend AstraZeneca among those under 55. Let's see. World leaders call for pandemic treaty. Okay. I don't know what that's about. All right, so let's get into it. Right now, over on the bottom of your screen, you have the S&P 500 mini futures on the top. You have the NASDAQ 100 mini futures on the bottom. And let's get into it. So right now, the S&P 500 is looking to open up in another 22 minutes here, down 11.75. The NASDAQ is looking to open down about 90, but it's spiking back up off of its bottom in the overnights. 3 minutes, yep, we got that chart there. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average is looking to trade down about 40, giving back a little bit of its record close yesterday. So that'll be interesting as well. Let's take a look at some of the pre-markets and see what movers and shakers we got. First off, we'll start off at the top with Bitcoin. Bitcoin back up again to 59,014, up another $1,400. Ethereum also a nice little jump, up $20 to 1836. It topped out this morning at 1852. Yeah, 1852 up here, so that looks pretty good. Excuse me. Bitcoin got up to 59,397. And that was just about a little over an hour or so ago on those. AMC is actually looking to open up a little bit higher by 2 cents to 1037. GameStop is looking to open up $5 to 186.73. Cinemark down a little bit. Palantir, some of these meme stocks are going to get hit a little bit more. Palantir 21.39. Again, Palantir is one of my favorites. I want to buy back in. I wanna. But it's still a little bit. It's still deciding what it wants to do here. Okay. Rocket is trading up in the pre-hours. I believe it was right before we started the stream. It's up 24 cents in the pre-market, up to 24.04. And Tesla is trading down $8, but coming in off of its bottom here to 602.97. So again, you have a lot going on here with the end of the quarter coming up tomorrow. March 31st, that's going to cause a lot of imbalances and things of that nature. The big talk yesterday was all about, what's the name of it? Let's see. Goldman and Morgan Stanley avoiding losses wherever, but Nomura and a Japanese broker and Credit Suisse taking huge losses apparently yesterday or Friday, sorry, based on the whole hedge fund family office debacle. And that was Archegos margin calls that happened on Friday that we talked about on Sunday, and we talked about a little bit here today. And they're saying this could be in excess of $20 billion, $20 billion wave of forced selling, and that was in Vicon, CBS, Discovery, and you saw those in the charts. And they're basically talking about is this a contagion? Is this going to be a one-off? Is there more than one? Charlie, good morning. Nice to see you. And again, we're streaming live on 3 platforms now. We're on Twitch, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube as well. So, you know, this whole Arch Egos thing, and Nomura and Credit Suisse taking huge losses. Will that snowball possibly into something else? And that's the worry. On the economic calendar this week, we've got consumer confidence index. That'll be reduced in that'll be issued in about an hour or so, and then you have some Fed chairs, you know, talking about the lack of inflation when in fact we have inflation. Home prices in top 20 cities up 11% in the past year. Case-Shiller Index, yep. You know, what to make of a jobs report that's released when the stock market is closed? That's an interesting one, because we talked about that yesterday. Again, on Friday, we're going to have non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, hourly earnings, and another Fed talk. And the problem is that the markets are closed on Friday because of Good Friday and Easter. So it's only occurred 12 times since 1980. The last time it occurred was 2015. So it's been, you know, 7 years since that, or 6 years since that's happened. So why is the stock market closed while federal data is being released? That's because Good Friday this year is on April 2nd. It isn't a federal holiday. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on, you know, tomorrow and Friday, or tomorrow and Thursday, because tomorrow you also have President Biden coming out with his infrastructure plan, also known as Tax Everybody plan, and that's going to be happening. So we'll keep an eye on that. And our plan is to carry that. He'll be talking in Pittsburgh. I don't have a time yet. I'll have a time for this afternoon stream to figure that one out, and then we'll look at it. We'll look at it there. But so Tesla looking to open up down 602. Apple is looking to open up down about $1. AMD is looking to open up down about 41 cents. Boeing is actually looking to go up again, 250 up $1.98. It did jump up to 253, sorry, in the pre-market. So, and it's 250 right now, so another up day for Boeing. Ford looking to trade is flat in the pre-market, pretty much right exactly at 12.15. Intel, so all the chip makers are looking to trade down. Microsoft down $1.73. Nvidia down 633, 511. Triple Qs, if you're a fan of the NASDAQ, is looking to trade down. The short of the S&P is looking to trade up 7 cents, and the short of the NASDAQ 100 is looking like a 27-cent increase, up to 1382. Talk about oil, Brent crude up 41 cents. However, light crude, call that US, down $1.08 per barrel, down to 60.53. So definitely some pressure on these oil stocks. But as we're looking at things, you know, the dollar, again, we'll talk about the first three. Dollar looking up again. The daily chart, steady increase since the bottom back in January of the dollar. Still historically low levels. Okay, and then we have the treasuries are up as well. So the 10-year treasury is up quite a bit, up to 1.749%, and the 30-year is now up to 2.431. It's up 2 cents, where 3.4 cents on the U.S. 10-year yield. So rising dollar, rising yields. Let's look at some other stocks here. You have ExxonMobil looking to trade down 48 cents. Workhorse looking to trade down 4 cents. U.S. Oil looking to trade down 75 cents to 41.17. So again, it's coming back in here. It's testing this 40 level that I drew way back here somewhere. I'd have drawn it right around here, around the 2nd of March or so. And if it goes back up, it'll probably hit resistance around that 43 level. Coming back down, it's retested this level twice now on this $40 level. And if it breaks that, it's going to head back down to 36 something, which is I have an alert set up there at what, 36.47 when it crosses. Okay. All right, TLT 20-year Treasury, that's trading down. Actually, the SPY is going to be trading down $1.22. Roblox is looking to get hit another 13 cents. They're trading down. GM, let me go over to 3 minutes. Sorry about that. GM is trading up 3 cents. Outlier. And Chevron is trading down 56 cents. So a lot of interesting stuff going on there. We do have a new issuance today, and it's the ARK Space Exploration ETF. So if you're familiar with Cathie Wood of ARK, she's a huge Tesla fan. She says Tesla 3000 by 2025. So they're coming up with a new ARK, and it's going to be the ARK Space Exploration Innovation ETF. And let's see, ARK X is going to be the symbol. And the top 10 holdings, there was something interesting about that. And let me see if I can find it, if they did it on here yet. Here we go. Let's try this one. And full holdings, here we go. Try this one. All right, let's see if we get fund holdings, PDF. Let's see if this comes up. This is directly from there. Okay, so here's what's in it and the weighting. So this is going to be an ARK Space Exploration and Innovation ETF. So it's not just going to be space, it's going to be innovation type stuff too. And what was interesting is that they actually bundled in, I don't know where it's at, but they're buying their other innovation ETF as part of the holdings. But this is everything that's in there. You've got Garmin in there, Dassault, Teledyne, Alphabet, Teradyne, Amazon, John Deere, Spirit Systems, Aero Systems, NVIDIA Corp, Boeing, Thales, Iridium, Lockheed Martin, Komatsu, JD.com, L3 Harris, Kratos Defense and Security, the 3D printing ETF. So the 3D printing ETF is, I believe, their own ETF. So they're buying an ETF as the second largest holding, is 6% weighting inside of an ETF. Okay. That's new. You have Trimble in there as well, and Trimble in there as well. So this, I have an alert set on mine to basically, as soon as it crosses 0, I'll get an alert. So as soon as it opens, we'll figure that out. It'll probably be, I don't know when it's going to be. Who knows? It could open up half hour after the market opens. It could open up 3 hours later, 4 hours later, during lunchtime, etc. Okay. All right, so now we have everything starting to turn where it's going to try and go for a green start here. So we have the Dow down 9 points right now. The NASDAQ is still going to open up lower. It's down, or the NASDAQ 100 minis are down 82 points right now, but the S&P is only down 8. And as you see over here on the bottom, you have the S&P 500 mini futures on the top, and you have the NASDAQ 100 mini futures on the bottom. So they're bouncing off their lows of this morning. But they're still going to open, still going to probably open up down on the day. And this is going to be a very volatile couple of days here. We talked about this. We have OPEC coming out with their meeting on the 1st on Thursday, so we're going to get that. We have options expiration on Thursday. You have all the numbers coming out being on the economic calendar being released Friday, but the markets are closed Friday, so what are people going to do? They're going to try and front guess what's going to happen with those numbers on unemployment, non-farm payrolls, etc. As far as today, like I said, we had the Schiller report came out, and that basically said that home prices have increased. I think it was 11% or so. So there we go. Need to know's call of the day. Hey, what's this? Let's click on this. Here's why Wall Street investors aren't giddy enough, says top strategist. Critical information for the U.S. trading day. All right, let's see what they're looking at. Oh, okay. Now the S&P 500 mini is dropping down a little bit. 9 minutes to go for the market opens. March is still set to deliver solid gains for most of Wall Street. Really? Let's see here. When we declare victory over COVID, dude, that's not coming for a while. It will not be. It's a nice quote though. I just can't imagine that at that point, when in some sense in this country, when we declare victory over COVID, then we're not going to feel a whole lot more giddy than we do right now sitting in my basement. He's apparently got more than himself sitting in his basement. All right, let's see here. Let's check the fear. Let's look at the fear and greed index, and let's see where that's at. We were at 52 neutral yesterday. Now we're 44, a little bit more negative. Okay. I can close these ARK ones. Let's take a look at gas prices, and we will leave the. Oh no, we won't. Close that already. Darn it! I meant to leave that one open. Hold on a second. Yeah. I wanted to leave that open on the ARK. And where's the holdings PDF? There we go. All right, I'm going to leave that one open for later here. One more. One less. All right, here we go. Okay, so again, we have the the S&P 500 looking to open up down 10 points. We have the NASDAQ 100 looking to open up down 83 points. And we have the Dow looking to open up down 24. So looking like another down day or a green start to the day. Let's look at gas prices. 286.9, and that is, I don't know what it was yesterday. I apologize. 389.6, that's up a little bit in California. Oregon 318, Washington 332, that's an increase. Illinois now above $3.05. 286.7 in Florida, 299.3 in Pennsylvania, and 290 in New York. So be glad you're not in Hawaii, because they're paying 366, and Alaska. I don't understand how Alaska can be 312. There's got to be refineries up there, you would think, but maybe not. So 389 in California. So as we look here, the S&P 500 looks like it's consolidating for its down open, 9 to 10 points or so. The NASDAQ 100 E-mini futures, those are looking to trade down 83, but off of its bottom. So again, we're going to have a lot of volatility today, tomorrow, Thursday, because we have a short market week. Okay, 6.5. I need to open up my broker account here. And so we're looking for another negative opening here. S&P 500, we'll get the heat map at 45 minutes past the hours when that thing turns itself on. And that's going to be because all of these are delayed by 15 minutes. It's not a live feed where all the quotes that you get from me during the day are all 100% a live feed. So this is live action and commentary that we're looking at. Again, we're over on YouTube. If you like what you see, hit the like button. Put a comment, not just in the chat, but even in the regular comment section. That helps people find the algorithm over there on YouTube. And give me a subscribe over there. It doesn't cost anything to hit that. Hit the notification and hit the notification bell. If you're on Twitch, you hit the follow button on Twitch to follow me on Twitch and hit the notification so that you're notified when we start streaming. We stream twice a day from 11:30 Eastern for 2.5 hours, and then we come back at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific for the close and power hour. We stream until the market closes. Sometimes after. We stayed about half an hour extra yesterday answering some crypto questions on metal, and I think the other one was Cato, and Ethereum and Bitcoin. So strap in. It's going to be one of those days again where you're going to see a lot of up and down and up and down. Probably at lunchtime, It'll be interesting to see yesterday the retail traders that didn't go to lunch started an uprise in the market, ran it back up again. Wall Street came back after lunch and said, how dare you trade stuff and buy things while we're gone? And then they pushed stuff back down again. So we ended up mixed on the day, but the Dow set a new record close for yesterday. And so because of that, it's looking to open up down 33 today. Hi, what's up? 627. Let's see here. So NASDAQ futures, again, down 83. Down 2 cents, or up 2 cents on AMC. Let's get these ready to go over here. And we'll get the S&P 500 on the top. Yeah. And then we'll have the VIX for volatility on the bottom. Okay. So this will be the VIX. This will be the S&P 500 over here. Okay, so we'll take a look at those when they open, and then we'll get let's get ready to go here, and we'll just pull up the S&P over here. Okay, 3 minutes. I'll be right back. I need to let her out, my dog out real quick. All right, let's go. All right, go. You gonna go potty? All right, back with how much time to spare? So about 40 seconds before market opens here. One last check. S&P looking to open up about down about 10. NASDAQ looking down about 80. And the Dow looking to open down about 40. Here's the SPX. Need to get a bell. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, 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 ding. All right, here we go. S&P down, starting down 12.5, and now the ARK SPAC just opened up, and that's at 20. And that might be something that that maybe I take a look at here too. And let's see where that one ends up at. All right, so let's watch the S&P for a little bit here. Oh, come on. 1 second. God, you stupid thing. All right. We'll let this load. Apparently my brokerage thing is gonna load up, but I don't have anything in this account because it's sitting in 100% cash. So that's one of my accounts there. Has 22 grand in cash. Just sometimes my prep can be better. There we go. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, so S&P is trading down 10. Right now we have the Dow down 15 and the NASDAQ down 50, down 65 right now. Okay. And let's take a quick look at this thing here. And let me go into this account here. And it looks like it opened up right around 20. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So this could be one as it gets, you know, for a possible scalp. And let's see here. As the rest of the market trades down here, so NASDAQ is down 76, S&P is down 10, and it looks like this is just going to sit here for a little bit here. Let's go down a 30-second chart. There we go, 2031. So opened up 20.7, now down to 20.31. Oh, that's right. Oh, look.
That you don't have the resources to take care of the patients in front of you.
Okay, this is...
All right, so Jim, your point about the market being flummoxed sort of makes sense because it's trying to balance what we just heard.
Okay, we need to listen to Cramer. All right, so I'm looking to possibly buy a little bit of this and just see what happens with it. This is the ARK again. This is the new ARK investment, the new ETF run by Cathie Wood, and it's ARKX. ARKX is the symbol on it. It's got Trimble 3D printing. It's got another of her ETFs as the second largest holding. Credo Defense, L3 Harris, JD.com, Komatsu, Lockheed, Iridium, Thales, Boeing, Nvidia, Spirit, Amazon is in there, Alphabet is in there, Garmin is in there, Virgin Galactic is in there, Airbus is in there. Anybody that has something to do with space is in there. It is also an innovation ETF as well. So it's also an innovation ETF as well. So we're going to see if this thing gets a little traction today or not. It'll be interesting to see how it trades. I'd like to get some into it as the NASDAQ turns down and the S&P and the Dow turn down too. So Dow is now down 20, S&P is down 86. Or I'm sorry, the S&P is down 11 and the NASDAQ is down 83 or so. So 20.3 is where it was. 2029 on the bid side. Hey, come here. Liberty. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Got your house. She was up 3 times. Let's get up, let the dog out, let her come back in, feed her while I make my coffee, open up the shades for the windows and stuff, let the light in later, and then let her go out again, then come up here, get this ready, and then usually right before the market opens, she's up there at my side saying, hey, I got to go to the bathroom again. Dog goes 3 times in the bathroom in the span of 25 minutes or so. So I'm going to watch this. I did not pull the trigger yet on this. I'm going to see how it levels out here, see what kind of volume it does. It's done 1.8 million shares already, but it's already selling off, and that's most likely due to what's happening in the overall market. So again, we got the S&P is down right now, down 12. We have the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 24 off of its record high close yesterday. And we have the NASDAQ Composite now down 93 and slipping further. But the ARKX, I don't, like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna grab some of that today or not. Now 2025, and I'm gonna throw it up top here, so I ain't gotta scroll as much for it. And I'll just throw it in here. Symbol, click, alphabetical, to keep an eye on that. So AMC, let's go through some of these. AMC is down 12 cents. GameStop is up $5.11. Palantir, again, this is another one. I want this stock. I want it. I want to own it. I want to own it long term. So I'm going to try and pick a bottom on it. Impossible to do, almost impossible. It's very rare, but you can usually get it on an uptick. Rocket up 7 cents on no news. I didn't see any news on them either. Tesla down $15, now down below 600 at 596. So that's pretty interesting as far as that goes. So we'll see where that ends up as well. There are some folks talking $400 level on Tesla again. So we'll see where that goes. I should probably do a little due diligence on this one. The problem is, how do you pick a spot? My next down is 539.49. That's where I've got it picked, and we'll see and what's happening is when I did this due diligence, you've got the 200-day moving average because I'm on a daily chart. You have the 180-day moving average because I try and front run everything on the 200 just a little bit. You have the 50-day moving average is the green, so it's below. It's above the 50 and the 200. It's below, it's above the 180 and 200. It's below the 50-day moving average, and it's converging with its 200-day moving average. And again, looking at the 200-day moving averages, right now we have 90% of all Dow Jones stocks out of the 30, so what is that, 26 of them or so, are above the 200-day moving average. We have the NASDAQ 100, 81% of all the stocks in the NASDAQ 100 are above their 200-day moving average. And for the S&P 500, this is the big one, it increased, go figure. It is now 93.87% of all the stocks in the S&P 500 are above their 200-day moving average, and so that's what you have. That's what you have there. We have let's go back up here. So we have Apple down $1.49. AMD, all the chips getting hit. AMD down $1.42. Boeing barely up 74 cents off of its big news yesterday with Southwest buying 100 new jets. Ford up 8 cents. Intel down $1.06. Microsoft down $2.71 now. Nvidia down $6.80 down to $5.11. Remember, all the options this week expire when? Thursday. They expire on Thursday because the markets close on Friday. We have the triple Qs down 2.79% or 2.78, down about 0.9%. We have the S8, which is the short on the S&P 500, up 6 cents. We have the S triple Qs, which is the shorts on the NASDAQ 100, up 37 cents to 13.92. And again, I've got some $14 calls on this as well for April 16th. So I do expect further down pressure on the market as we have the Dow down 68, NASDAQ down 85, and the S&P down 13. Rest, Chevron is down. GM is up $1.11. Did they find some chips maybe? Auto industry urges Biden to back comprehensive EV plan. Okay. Hyundai Motor to suspend some South Korean output due to chip supply. General Motors sees significant insider selling continuing. Okay. Let's look at the EVs here. EV makers and other selected ones. And let's flip this to a loss. Li Auto down 3%. Ride down 2.7%. Solo down 2.25%. Again, Tesla down 1.95. Alibaba, I throw them in there. NIO down 1%. They're having some chip problems as well. Blink charging stations down 30 cents. CCIV down 7 cents. Plug Power down 20 cents. Workhorse flat. Fuel Cell down 5 cents. XPeng, XPeng up 4 cents. Fuel Cell, you look at a daily on them, significant drop from its 29.44 high back in February. So they've had just a huge pullback, but still up, looking pre-pandemic and stuff, down the twos. Great profits on that one. XPeng, which is XPEB, Ford is up, GM is up, and Baidu is up 591 after its drop from 354 back in February as well. So let's go down to the 30-second chart. Let's head back up. Let's watch Tesla here for a little bit. But I'm going to go back into my watch list, and we look at some of those going on. All right, let's see here. Great content. Oh, thank you, Heather, there over there on YouTube. Appreciate you stopping in. All right, AMC is now up. It is in the green, and we got 5 more minutes before the S&P heat map shows up. We know it's going to be a lot of red. But we can look at, let's see, JP Morgan. JP Morgan up 247. Citigroup up $1.21. Going up $1. Palantir, what are you doing? Down 63 cents. So financials are going to be up a little bit. Oops. U.S. oil is going to be down. Chevron's down 76 cents. U.S. oil is down 70 cents. ExxonMobil is down 45 cents. The VIX up to 21.3. That's the bottom. Now in the bottom pane, you have the VIX on the bottom. So as that goes up, that's basically your fear and greed scale volatility on the S&P 500, and this is the S&P 500 on the top here. So the VIX is going up. It's at 21.3 right now. Let's look at the dollar. Dollar is up again. It's up quite a bit. Up 36.5 cents to 93.307 is the dollar. So that just big time jump since this morning. It was at 92.1, and you know that's a big jump for the dollar there. 10-year Treasury yield again is up, and the U.S. 30-year is up as well, but just a little bit. Just a little bit. 2.424 on the 30-year, 1.749 on the 10-year Treasury. So again, what usually happens is if the dollar is up and the Treasuries are up, the markets are down. And so we're at now down 91 on the Dow, 106 on the NASDAQ, and down 17 on the S&P. So things are definitely turning towards the negative here. ARK is now at... I want some of this. I want to buy some of that. I want to put in, 20 grand, buy 1,000 shares of it. But the problem is that the holdings are already in there. So they're already, they already own this stuff. And so if they already own all this stuff in this ETF, as the market goes down, the value is going to go down. But it's a new fund. Today's the first day that it's trading. So it's already booked 2.8 million shares of volume on this fund. A couple, looks like some of them came in over a minute and a half and tried to push it up to buy some. And they're probably saying, okay, drop the candle, start it up an up candle, little breaking this bottom at 2015. And maybe they're scalping there, but it's not much of a scalp. 2015 right into 2020. Yeah, you're talking about 0.2% of a scalp. So not really something for day trading. I want to own it just as an investment. So a long-term trade, because I do love space. SN11 is scheduled to go up again today. We can look at, as a matter of fact, I can pull that up too. But let's go back into the NASDAQ here, because that's your pressure today. So down 56 on the Dow, down 110 on the NASDAQ. S&P is now down 16. And I will pull this up and let's see. And if this thing goes up today, we'll carry it on stream. So let me pull up YouTube here. Be a little slow. And Boca Chica. Have y'all read the stories about SpaceX and Boca Chica? They bought a whole street. They still have some holdouts, I think, though. Oh no! Oh crap, we missed it? Hold on. Oh, we missed it. It crashed. Let's see if we can find it. What are they launching this thing in the middle of the clouds for? So apparently SN11 went up and 8 minutes. Oh, here we go. So the crash is at 80005. No, it's not, because they're still alive. All right, so apparently SN11 went up and came back down and crashed. So I'm trying to find that on here, but it's probably going to cause me to lag. And yeah. All right. So anyway, maybe I can get that later. Let me close that up for now so it doesn't lag everything. Okay, so apparently SN11 did launch already, and apparently it blew up and crashed, raining debris down everywhere, whatever that means. So let's see here. SpaceX SN11 crash, and let's see what it says here. But appears to crash. All right, so these things just tend to go up and come right back down again. They did stick the landing on the last one. So what they did on this one, prototype crashes during landing attempt after another clean, uncrewed launch. Latest SpaceX prototype, live stream of the flight test froze as the rocket came into land. And thick fog around SpaceX facility in Texas made it difficult for witnesses to see what happened. Okay, I get it. The rocket uses GPS to land, but I'm sure it uses some kind of LiDAR or radar or something like else as well to stick the landing spot. And I don't know if fog has anything to. Oh, here we go. Here's Elon. Looks like engine 2 had issues on ascent and didn't reach operating chamber pressure during landing burn, but in theory it wasn't needed. Something significant happened shortly after landing burn start. Should know what it was once we can examine the bits later today. So they call this what Elon calls it when his rockets crash. At least the crater is in the right place. So we'll see if we can get some pictures later on. And I don't mean to be funny about this, but there's nobody on board. This is the 11th one, and basically every single one of them he's launched has crashed and burned. The last one they had stuck the landing. Then it had a leak, some kind of pressurization problem, and it blew up after it landed, about a minute after it landed. This one, so what they did on this one is he added it. He took the legs of the SN11 and he took it from 4 legs. They added 2 more legs to have 6 legs on the rocket to help it land. But apparently we're not going to be able to see that today. You can check on YouTube later, and maybe we can find it. But because of the fog on site, it's going to be pretty difficult to see what happened there. Okay, all right. So back to the market. So right now we have the Dow now down 102. So all of its gains from yesterday have now been wiped out, and it's negative from there. S&P is now down 19. The VIX is up to 21.4 now. It hit its high yesterday of 21.6, I believe, yesterday, and so it's down a little bit off of its high of 21.5 today. But there you go. And then the NASDAQ continuing its downtrend, now down 111.9. And I want to look at the ARK again. What's the ARK doing? Yeah, so I would love to own this. This and Palantir are probably my top 2 plays of what I want to own. But I just don't see. I don't see any common sense in buying an ETF of space that has all the holdings already purchased, which means you're going to participate in any down pressure on the market. So the fact that it's down now, let's just call and say it opened up at 2070 or whatever it was, or got up 2070. So call on this first candle here at 2048, all the way down to 2013.5 in a down market. 3.37 shares traded, which means not every one of those 3.37 shares. Million people or shares, but 3.38 million shares traded, and the majority of those are people buying into it for the first time. The possibility is there. My brokerage does allow me to short this. It says it's hard to borrow. Doesn't give me an interest rate. I think I'd have to call for an interest rate to see what it would cost to borrow on that. So you might have people shorting it, knowing that when the initial volume dies down, is it going to participate down in the down market? So you have a combination of stuff going down in the overall market, all of its holdings that it has. A lot of those tickers are probably going down today because they're tech, and yet might have people shorting it. And even with it all being majority buyers, it's pulling back off of its open because of the market. What that means is if we get a jump in the market and it recovers a little bit, you might be able to get a quick scalp out of it as well, because you'll draw in not only the market upswing on the top side, but you'll also get other people plowing into it to accomplish the same thing. And that could cause a little bit of a spike. You might be able to grab 1% or so. 20.12 plus 1% would bring it up to 20.32. 1% on this thing is going to be 20 cents, right? So 20 cents for me on 1,000 shares on ARK would make my goal for the day. I have a goal of $196 a day. That's what I try and make. That basically pays all my bills for the month, but it doesn't include my mining income. And again, I got a mining payout yesterday, and ETH is up very good actually right now. It's up quite a bit. Let's see here. My Ring doorbell needs charging. Okay. LA Fitness thief went to the gym. Somebody broke into their car. All right. Let me pull this up. See what I'm up today. So my Coinbase Pro account doesn't tell me my profit and loss on the app, like as a percentage, like gains and things. I'm up about $1,200 over yesterday. So I'm still 88.35% Ethereum, and 11.65% Bitcoin. So my Ethereum holdings are increasing. My Bitcoin holding is staying the same. But off my last buy on Bitcoin, that's up 147%. My Ethereum is up quite a bit. The last time I bought Ethereum was at 1588.1, and that was last week, and it's already back up to 1833. So I am now up 13.3% on my Ethereum buy from last week. All right, a little bit turn in the VIX. VIX has dropped back down from 21.5 to 21.4. Hence the S&P is back up just a little bit. Let's see, 3-minute buy here. Okay. All right, I just purchased 1,000 shares of ARKX at 2015. So I'm in for 1,000 at 2015, and I'm going to see if we can scalp a little bit here on this upswing. So this is no fundamentals, no technical analysis. This is just simply a YOLO for the day. So I own 1,000 shares of ARKX. So it cost me $20,150. And it's based on, if we're right here and this goes down and this goes back up a little bit, maybe we get a very, very short-term recovery on this. Maybe this will bring more buyers in, and I can scalp it a little bit before we head back south again. So Dow is down 103. Let's look at the heat map and look at sectors. Again, you're going to have your financials are going to be up today. There we go. I knew right where to hover because I knew which ones were going to be up. We got your financials up, your regionals up, your Berkshire's up. Your BlackRock is up. All those are up. Google is up. AT&T is up. Selectively, Viacom CBS up 3%. So if you bottom pick that one, you're sitting pretty good. Same thing with Discovery A. That is up 6.72% today. Tesla down 2%. The Goog, Alphabet up a little bit. And let's see, ARK 2015. So it's still hanging out where it's at. You have energy down, utilities down. You have railroads up. Oh, CSX up a little bit. GE. All your defense stocks are up today, but barely. Again, the brighter the green, unless you're colorblind, but the brighter the green here, the brighter the shade of gray, I guess. And I'm not colorblind, but the higher the gain is on the brighter green. The brighter reds are going to be greater losses in the 2-3% range. So Tesla down 2%. All right, so sitting there, flattening out on the VIX at 21.4, and now it's lower. I'm losing money. That's what happens when you try and bottom pick something. I'm down $5. What do? Do I sell? Should I hit the panic button? Function F4 to sell everything? No. We'll come back to that. All right. So Bitcoin up to 58,850. It did hit 59. Ethereum 1831, well entrenched above 1800. I like that. I always talk about that 1800 number. And the reason why it's an emotional, psychological level on a stock. And if you don't think that emotions play into the stock market, they absolutely do. It's the same thing why when there's, what the Rothschilds say, when there's blood in the streets, that's when you buy. So we're not to the level of blood in the streets yet, though, either. Okay. So AMC down 17 cents now to 10.18. Let's go to 30-second chart here so we can see what's happening. GameStop up 5.32 or up to 186. Palantir. Nope, ain't gonna do it. Ain't gonna do it yet. When I do Palantir, what I will probably do on this one is I will buy. When I'm probably, I've been going back and forth over this. Probably 1,000 shares. So what I'm looking at doing on Palantir is possibly buying shares and then maybe writing a covered call on it too to hedge a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll look at the options change and say, okay, let's say I get it at 21, right? If I get it at 21, maybe I go out 30, 45 days and sell a call and do a covered call, maybe out to $28, $29. Somewhere around there, and take the premium on that, hoping that it expires worthless, and then I keep it. But if I get called away, would I be okay at selling those 1,000 shares and buy 10 call options on this and selling those 1,000 shares at 30? Well, yeah, because I'll make 10 bucks on it. I'll give away that premium, but it eliminates a lot of my risk of owning the stock. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on Palantir. Hey, I'm up $5. $5? How much am I up? Money. I'm up $10 on ARK. Should I sell? What do? I don't know what to do. What does my technical analysis say to do? My TA is not giving a buy signal yet on this. Hey, 30-second, not 30 minutes. It did on the 30-second chart though. Let's see if it did on the 1 minute for grins and giggles here. So it issued a buy at 2015.63. I'm in before that. I got in right over here. Yeah, so it's just going to vacillate with the rest of the market here. But and looking at the volume here, so what is it? Is this somebody scalping already? Really, dude? You come in here, you're gonna buy it at 2007, and then you're gonna sell it at 2014.67. What'd you get there? Let's say that this is them over here, and they're scalping. 7-cent scalp. Big money. I don't get it. When you have an outlier volume bar like this, you just had some buyers in there because it's a doji. And then the doji flipped the other way. So what did we say? 2032, right? Or 2015 plus 0.19. I need 2034. Probably not going to get it, but that's all right. We'll have some fun. We'll have some fun with it and see what happens. See if we make a little money on it today or not. Okay. All right. So coming back to this, we'll let that one stew a little bit. Actually, let's see, 2034. That's a good enough spot. We'll set a little alert here and see if it goes off. Okay. So, all right. So I have an alert set there, so I can let that stew. I did not set a limit order on this one. To be honest with you, if it turns out I'm wrong on this and it drops down, I don't think I'm going to be, at least initially. Based on the day, yeah, as a doji goes down, right, and it sells off and dumps. But I'm not going to set a stop loss on because I want to own it long term. But we'll see where we're at on this one a little bit later. It might be one. You guys saw a bounce in my Roth, one of my Roth accounts earlier. I got about 22 grand in there. I could put some of that in there too. So we'll see. I bought this in my margin account as a potential scalp to make a little bit off of it today. And I'm up $25 on it right now. So let's see what happens with it. All right, let's hit the indices again. Let's see where we're at. Dow Jones Industrial Average now down 57. S&P down 15. Recovered a little bit. And the NASDAQ just continues 104. And the NASDAQ pulling back, that's going to be a reflection of your Apple, your Microsoft, your NVIDIA, all your chip makers, with the exception of Texas Instruments, which is up just a little bit. They're up a little bit, but AMD is down, Micron is down, Qualcomm is down, Avgo is down, NVIDIA is down, Intel is down, all down. Your banks and your regionals, the worry is there something else out there? You know, my suspicion on this whole thing with Archegos. And is it Archegos? Is it Big Egos? Is that what the name of that fund was? And you know, there's a lot of stuff out there saying that it was a family. You know, it was a family office, so they don't have to report to the SEC and stuff like that. And they went out and they hedged all this stuff with different banks, and apparently never told these primary brokers, your Goldman, your Morgan Stanley, your Nomura, Credit Suisse, what their holdings were, what they were doing, or how much they were leveraged. So they got the markets call and they dumped. Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley are saying that they did not have losses, where Nomura and Credit Suisse said they had huge losses, and it's going to have a big effect on their overall business. Here's the question. If this is in excess of $25-30 billion of sales on a margin call, how naive do you have to be to think that there are not others out there possibly and potentially in the same position? Whether it's another family office or not, I won't even say the guy's name who ran the thing, or another mutual fund, or not a mutual fund, another hedge fund. You got to think it potentially not the only one. And so you have these catalysts coming in. Is this a catalyst? Is this going to be a contagion that is going to spread? Are we going to hear about another one a day from now, 2 days from now? Market closes. Maybe on Friday we hear about another one that they made sales earlier this week. Maybe we hear about another one next week or the week after. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully this is a one-off, and the due diligence, or not the due diligence, but the fiduciary the fiduciary responsibility that these hedge funds take is serious enough that they're not in the same position and they're properly hedged. I tend to be a little bit pessimistic on news like this, because some of the stuff yesterday was talking about, you know, in the plural, funds, without any names and stuff like that. So we don't know necessarily if there's another one out there or not. Here's what I think is happening today, though. You have Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, you have Prudential, you have Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Credit Suisse, Nomura, all of them, JP Morgan, they're all out there today going to their trading floors, going to their compliance offices, and the compliance officers within these firms are walking the entire floor today, is my guess. And they probably did it yesterday too. And they said, find me the other Archegos. I want to know every family office that trades with us, every hedge fund that trades with us, and I want to know the ones that we're not exactly sure of their full positions. And then let's get on the phone to our friends. Let's say the Morgan Stanley guys call their friends over at Goldman and say, hey, what do you got? Who's the next Archegos? What are you guys digging into? And the guy says, hold on a second. Yeah, I'm going to go take my coffee break, and goes on to Starbucks and says, okay, well, we're looking at this hedge fund, and this hedge fund. We've got some feelers out. We're not getting any bad news yet. but it looks like we may have to unload a little bit for them. Okay, great, thanks. What do you have? Well, I have this one that we're looking at. And then they start talking to each other in the bathrooms, in the hallways, at coffees, at lunch, or they're drinking lunches, and they're out there trying to find out right now who's the next Archegos, who's the next fund that might be in trouble, that's on the verge of a margin call as these markets go down, or are they leveraged? Obviously, the Archegos fund was not doing shorts, or if they were doing shorts, they got spanked on ones that we don't know what all the holdings were, because they were sold off and they were going down. And it could be that, they're selling those to cover those. Here's a good one. Mark Williams, a Boston University finance lecturer and former Federal Reserve examiner. Should they even be in the business of taking bets where they can lose $2 billion in a week? Morgan Stanley sold $15 billion in shares over a few days. That's one firm. Goldman Sachs says they've managed to sell most of the stock related to its Archegos margin calls on Friday, helping the firm avoid any losses in the episode. So you have to wonder, and you look at something like Viacom or Discovery A. Let's go look at Discovery A, and let's go out to a daily chart. And they're up today. They're up 6% on the bottom. And you have to say, who are the poor people that all these brokers, your Goldman, your Credit Suisse, your Nomura, your Morgan Stanley, who did they get on the phone with? And what pension fund did they say, hey, I got a great buy for you. Discovery A is trading at 76. I can get you 1 million shares at 68.33. Really? Wow, I'm special. All right, go. Done. Hey, I got a good one for you. Discovery's trading at 68.33. I can get it for you at 60. All right, how many shares? 1 million. Can you do 2 million? Yeah, I'll sell you 2 million at 60.74. Boom. Hey, I got great shares. It's at 60.74. I can get it for you at 53. Okay, great. How many? Give me 500,000 shares. Boom. Hey, it's at $54. I can get it for you for 48. You want 1 million shares? Boom. This is what they do. They will go out and they will not disclose why. They'll just talk about the next great deal. Oh, I've got a great deal for you. I told you guys about a great deal. Hey, I got ARK here. I got ARK at, it's at 2015. I think it's a great buy. Buy it now. Buy as much as you can. Why? Well, I'm biased, right? I'm up $30 in it, right? Because I want it to go up to 2034. So when they're doing that, and now they did the same thing to Viacom, same exact thing with Viacom, and hey, Viacom is at $99. Yeah, it's a couple dollars lower than its 52-week high, but you know what? I can get it for you at $85 or $86 a share. Really? It's at 98 and you can get it for me for 86? What's going on? It's an insider sale. It's off the books. It's over the counter, so it's not going to hit the tapes, but I can get it for you at 86. Look, I got to go. I got another call waiting for the same thing. Do you want 1 million shares or not? Give me it at 85. Done. All right, I've got shares at 90. It's at 92 right now. I can get it for you for 78. Can you give me 76? Yeah, done. Okay, I've got shares for you at 81. But I can get it for you for 69. Great, give me all you got. All right, 2 million shares. And they laddered this thing down the whole way every day last week. Morgan Stanley and Goldman unloading their positions on unsuspecting investors. My concern isn't the fact that these things dropped. My concern is the lack of transparency, whoever they sold these shares to, and what they told them when they bought those shares. My guess is they absolutely probably misled them and were not entirely honest. And they talked about the great deal. Hey, it's trading down. We think it's done. Yeah, it's at 50, but I can get you shares at 45 right now. You want it before it bounces back, or not 45. At 75, I can get it for you at 65. Yeah, I think it's going to turn off of this. If you look, it's coming right back down to its 50-day moving average. We're probably going to get a bounce off the 50-day. All right, cool, let's do it. Boom, slams it back down again. So they know what they're doing. When you see a thing and you see this as good news, and you have Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley bragging that they avoided losses on the unloading of this fund, they avoid the losses. You know why? Because they pass those freaking losses onto unsuspecting investors. Maybe your mutual fund in your 401k has it, and it tanked after that. And maybe maybe your teacher's retirement pension fund or your state pension fund was sold Discovery A shares and Viacom CBS shares, and then it went down 25% after they bought it, right? And maybe that relationship is burned at Goldman and Stanley, and when they call them the next time, they're like, hey, you screwed me on Discovery and Viacom. Either you owe me right now or we're done. The guy says, fine, we're done. And then Morgan Stanley guy hangs up the phone, and instead of the Washington State Pension Fund, he calls the Nebraska Pension Fund. Hey, I know you didn't take place in that other one. Hey, good for you. I'm glad you didn't take that bet. I was wrong on it. It looks like Viacom and Discovery got tanked after it, but I've got a different one here for you. Do you have a minute to listen? Yeah, sure. What do you got? Well, like I said, I'm glad you didn't buy that other one. That was a bad one. Let me tell you about this one. I've got this new, you've heard of Cathie Wood, right? And Cathie Wood is out there. And look at this thing. This thing is brand new. It just started trading today. It already got up to 2070. It's on sale. I can get it for you at 2018 right now. What do you say? Now you got to be quick because this thing already traded 4.5 million shares. All right, yeah, let's do it. Let's add it. It's space. It's going to go up. Let's do it. All they're going to do is the ones they screwed before, they're not calling them for the next deal. They're going to let that stew. They'll call them back. They'll grovel. They'll apologize. Yeah, I'm wrong, but I've got this one for you now. And then people are going to hang up on them, and they'll just go to the next pension fund. They'll go to the next mutual fund. They'll call their other buddies. Who do you got? The Morgan guy will call the Goldman guy and say, hey, who did you screw on Viacom? Well, I screwed the Ohio Pension Fund, Teachers Retirement Pension Fund. They didn't buy on it. So I wanted to screw them, but they wouldn't bite. Okay, great. Who did you screw? Well, I screwed the Illinois fund. All right, cool. I'm going to call the Illinois fund. Hey, you can call the Nebraska one because I screwed them. And then they flip. And then they'll call the ones that didn't take the last deal that their buddies did because they help each other out because they're in the same industry. And so you have that kind of, call for what it is. You have that kind of collusion going on in the markets. And it's just a normal sense of doing business here. All right, let's see the 3-minute on ARK. Hey, it gave a buy. So I took a risk on this one, and it looks like it gave a buy at 2015 on the 3-minute. There is no MACD because you have no 50, you have no 200 moving averages. Hasn't even done that yet. There is a 50. There is a little bit of a MACD, so you do have a 50 period on a 30-second chart on ARK SpaceX. Again, this is not SpaceX. ARK Space Exploration and Innovation ETF. SpaceX is not in this fund. SpaceX is not publicly traded. So be careful if somebody calls it ARK SpaceX. You see what I did there? I even caught myself subconsciously. ARK Space Exploration. What they're going to shorten and say, well, yeah, the ARK SpaceX ETF. We'll see if that name sticks. Even though SpaceX isn't in it at all. It's not. We looked at the holdings. You got Trimble, you have another ETF in there. Kratos Defense, L3, JD, Komatsu, Lockheed, Iridium, Thales, Boeing, and NVIDIA. Again, NVIDIA, big news yesterday on NVIDIA, right? They're probably up again still today. Let's see here. Nope, down. Pull back. Down 671. What's our VIX at? VIX is 21.3, so that's a little bit lower. S&P is 39.54. S&P down 16 now. Okay. NVIDIA had news yesterday. They announced that they are going to be supplying the chips for the new Nintendo Switch, which will be released by the holidays. So NVIDIA is doing that. And then Nintendo also said that the new Switch will have an OLED screen as well. So again, they're not going away. Well, they pulled back off their 52-week high of 614. This is another one I want to buy. I want to buy back into. I sold some, took some profits up here as it slipped. I don't own anything in them right now, but they're doing pretty good. AMD, this pullback is profits from yesterday, most likely. I don't think there's any news today. Let's see. ECARX will launch 7-nanometer auto chip with ARM China to be built by TSMC. Okay, Taiwan Semiconductor. Tailwinds build. Let's see here. Trying to keep a good posture with my feet on the floor instead of crossed. Another tailwind may come from diversification in demand. Malik says that demand is moving beyond smaller chips as industries such as hyperscale data centers, cloud computing, use larger chips. Yeah, that's going to be me. So when I decide to start staking my Ethereum as it gets closer to ETH 2.0, I will do that. I plan to set up my node in the cloud. And I'm leaning towards AWS through Amazon, setting up my node, my staking node on Ethereum. We're talking cryptocurrency now. With them, I might go Google. We'll see what's in the play and see what the pricing is. I should be able to run a free what's called an instance on Amazon's AWS cloud server, and based on the data and the crunching I've seen, I might be able to just use a free account with them. And again, what that means is I'm going to stake at least 32 Ethereum. So 32 Ethereum right now is 36,000. 1832 times. About $58,000 in value right now. I'll be staking and earning interest on Ethereum. I also want to do some due diligence on the long weekend. Next week, we're going to talk about other cryptocurrencies. We're going to talk about the NFTs. Oh, by the way, if you have not seen Knight, good morning over there on Twitch. Have you all seen the NFT on from Saturday Night Live? It was hilarious. Oh, also, I picked up. There's a pre-sale going on NBA Top Shot. If you are an NBA fan, and they sell NFTs, they're video clips that are non-fungible tokens that are called Moments. And there's a new base pack coming out in a few weeks. And so I got in on that drop at $9, and I was able to purchase one for $9, and it will have 3 moments into it. I own 5 moments right now. Every one of those 5 moments that I own is valued less than what I put into it. But one of them was a gift, so maybe I'm up overall. But there you go. So ETH 1831. All right, let's go back and let's take a look at the average, the indices again. So Dow is now down 91, but coming back a little bit. S&P down 21, coming back a little bit, and the Nasdaq Composite down 116. Look at that line, man. It's just hugging that thing. We'll see. S&P. Earlier this March had a jump off of that. Let's look at the. All right, VIX back up to 21.6 now, so getting more volatile. Yeah, big drop. Big drop just now. All 3 just dropped. Dow down 106. Nasdaq down 130 now. S&P down 24. So we'll check this in 15 minutes. We'll see how much darker red this gets, but that was a little bit significant. Now volatility, big jump there. 21.7 now on the VIX, looking down here. Okay. What's my ARK doing? That probably dropped too. Yup. Do I buy more? Take the loss. I'm just gonna let it ride though. How much am I down? 60? No, I'm down $35. I bought 1,000 shares of ARKX. All right. Now we're just getting hammered. Dow down 110. NASDAQ 132. VIX stabilizing at 21.7. S&P down 25. Again, your treasuries are up. Triple Q now down 4. So 1.32%. My shorts that I own up 12 cents on one, up over wow, 1409. Nice. Up 4% on those. What's that? Holy cow. All right, I'm up quite a bit here today. NASDAQ, if most of you have text, be careful here. Again, you know, if you've been listening to me on the channel for any amount of time over the last 4 weeks here, you know what I've been talking about. So hopefully you put plans into place in your own account, and maybe you went to cash, and maybe you're just scalping. Interesting. Okay. All right. VIX still holding at 21.7. Now, we talked about this before. As these things head south, and you know, we're looking at 0.38% on the Dow. NASDAQ's down 1% now, down 134. S&P is down 0.66%, down 26. If this continues, the stair step on a daily chart is going to look like this. It's going to go down. Going to come back up, not breach the prior high, go down, come back up, not reach the prior, like that. It'll stair step its way down the same way it does on the way up. The positive side of any of this stuff that's happening right now is that it's not slamming. If it's slammed, and we had, looking at this volatility one on the bottom, let me pull that up. Let me go to the VIX, and let me pull this up and say, okay, if this is a 30-second chart though, so take this for what it's worth. If this was a daily chart, and this was the S&P, or if this was the NASDAQ or even the Dow, but really the NASDAQ, you know, the Russell yesterday, Russell 2000 took a 3% dip. If this was a major index and it slammed down like this, you would get an even bigger slam down after that. And that's because whoever and whatever entities did this, that news breaks, and then that's when the panic comes in. So when the panic comes in, and maybe this is it now, I don't know. We knew this week was going to be volatile. I knew this week would have some down pressure on it at some point, just because everything else was lined up. You know, the dollar is up 35 cents. Look at that, 93.292. It's up to. But looking at the VIX, 21.7. All right, a little bit of a drop there. What's our ARK doing? 2009. Dare I? Nope, I'm down 50 bucks. I'm going to let it stew. I'm not going to double down on it. Oh, I should have. Dope. But operating on a sell, selling volume about the same as the buying volume. Palantir. What did it get down to? 2086 today? When did it hit that? Right at the open. 10 minutes after it opened. That would have been a good scalp too. Look at the dollar though, up 34 cents, almost a 0.37% of 1% gain on the dollar, up to 93.29. Got all the way up to 93.354. Wow. All right, coming back a little bit. Nice turn on the NASDAQ. Now down only 18 on the S&P. And the Dow down 63. Here's the news on shares of Arc Space Exploration and Innovation. Down 6.7% at 2016. We know it's lower than that right now. Companies engaged in the fund's investment theme of space exploration and innovation will have an expense ratio of 0.75%, that's not bad, 0.75%, and 39 holdings to start, with the top 10 holdings comprising roughly half of the fund. Are they starting with any cash? They didn't list. I wonder, man, you would hope, as bright as Cathie Wood is, that she held some cash back and is selectively buying stuff, right? So again, I didn't panic. I didn't sell. I held on to it. I'm in at 2015 on this thing for 1,000 shares as the market turns back north here. So we'll see on this stuff. Let's see if there's any other breaking news. Gastown. Wait, what? Portugal will send soldiers to Mozambique to help train the armed forces in its former colony, where authorities battling Islamist insurgency search for tens of thousands of civilians who fled an onslaught on the northern coastal gas town of Palma. Many of those are believed to have scattered into dense surrounding forest or to have attempted to escape by boat when Palma came under attack on Wednesday, aid workers told Reuters. Some waited out to sea to hide, one survivor told Reuters. Mozambique's government has confirmed dozens of deaths, including at least 7 who died when militants ambushed a convoy of vehicles trying to escape a besieged hotel on Friday. Bodies in the streets, some of them beheaded. Sorry. It's a real humanitarian catastrophe. Huh. So, trouble in Mozambique. Russian internet giant Yandex down 2.1% as the CFO and COO have decided to leave. Okay. Any top news? Let's see. Debacle at Arch Egos throws excessive risk-taking in the spotlight. Auto industry urges Biden to back comprehensive EV plan. Deliveroo IPO puts London tech credentials to the test. PayPal launches crypto checkout service. There we go. Amazon union vote enters final stretch in watershed moment for U.S. labor. Not really. Amazon. Okay, so if Amazon, here's what's going to happen. And you can look at your local airport. You can look at your grocery store kiosk. You can look at anything you want. Okay. If Amazon, if their employees decide to unionize, okay, if Amazon's employees decide to unionize, you will literally see the cost of that to the company in negotiated contracts. You will see thousands and thousands and thousands of Amazon employees will no longer have a job. And this will take 2 to 3 years. But you can look at their holdings now, and they will simply be replaced by AI robotic computers. And the robots will start to do the picking. So it's almost like they're going to sign their own death warrant if they decide to unionize. And there's stories. This is the same thing about, when Walmart wasn't union, and they were talking about how terrible the healthcare plan was. And I knew some people that worked for Walmart, and their health coverage was very, very good. And so they put out all this bad news. But if Amazon, if that union vote passes, and they decide to unionize, all bets are off. So it's the Alabama Fulfillment Center, and they'll be reviewed starting on Tuesday. Ballot sent to 5,800 workers. A union victory would leave Amazon second only to Walmart, with more than 800,000 employees nationwide, vulnerable to additional organizing efforts, and represent a watershed moment for the U.S. labor movement. I don't know if it's a watershed moment. It's a watershed moment, just like here in Seattle, in the Seattle area, and you had a nice move up on the S&P, by the way. All the indices are recovering a little bit. Dow is now down only 5. NASDAQ still down 89, S&P down only 12. But they passed minimum wage here, and so some of the restaurants, like there was a famous fish place, what's it called, Alvers? I forget the name of it. It'll come to me in a second. But they said, okay, here's what we're doing. We're going to do the $15 minimum wage. We are going to no longer allow tipping at our restaurants. But we're going to increase our prices by 23%. And think about that for a second. They increased their prices by 23%. Most people tip between 15 and 20%. I'm a 20% guy. If the service is good, I'll give more. If the service is less, usually if the service is bad, I'll give like 10 or 15%. So, because they still need to make a wage, right? And so what you then had happen is all the grocery stores here started putting in all the self-checkers as fast as they possibly could. The first one that I saw with a kiosk was at the, I forget what terminal, the B terminal at Seattle SeaTac Airport. And the B terminal has a McDonald's, and I like flying Southwest. And I usually go in there. I usually book super early morning flights, and I'll get I'll get a breakfast sandwich and stuff. And by doing that, they put in all the kiosks. You put your order. You take a little a table marker that looks like this. You put it on your table, and they bring you your food. So they only have food runners, nobody taking orders. What takes the most time? Yeah, I'll have give me a minute. There's 10 people in line. There's none of that anymore. There's boop, 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 or insert the chip, and off you go. And so if this plant votes to unionize, what you're going to see is you're going to see that plant that has 5,000 workers now, or however many it was. Let's see, you can look at this in a year and maybe remind me. 5,800 workers at that plant. In 3 years, they might have 2,300 workers. They're going to replace them. They're simply going to replace them with robots that can do the job. And that may happen whether or not they're union or not, right? So, somebody's still got to put a lot of stuff in boxes, or maybe a computer can do it. I saw, what was it? Boston, are they publicly traded? Boston Dynamics? Boston Scientific? No. I thought it was Boston Dynamics, but maybe not. Let's see here. Here you go. Look at this, and think about this for a second. Look at that picture, okay? I saw a video yesterday, and it was about this company, And if you look at this picture, what is it? Well, it's a robot. No, it's not. It's not a robot. Well, it's picking boxes, taking them off a shelf and putting them on a pallet and pallet stacking. And then they'll wrap the pallet and it'll be off we go. It's a freaking robot. You're an idiot. It's a robot. No, it's not. What it is, in economics terms, is this is an employee replacement plan. And this one right here will probably replace 2 or 3 employees. Who knows what the number is? It's an ERP. I just made that term, employee replacement. There you go, ERP. Coined it, you heard it here first. It's an employee replacement plan. And they showed this thing similar to this, looked exactly like this, in a truck with a pallet or pallet roller. Take the box, put it on the roller, gravity, the box rolls out of the truck, another one puts it on a pallet or sends it through the system. And you know, you can look at this and you say, you know, why do we need, you know, Amazon might say, go ahead, unionize. Okay, great. We have 5,800 employees. You all decide to unionize. That's going to increase our costs. So unfortunately, you know, we hate to say this, but 1,500 of you are going to have to go. Wait, what? Well, we're going to strike then. Okay, strike. You strike, 5,800 of you are going to go. We're going to ship all of our distribution to our other plants for now until we get this thing all part of our ERP, our employee replacement plan, and get these robots in here to do your job. Don't think it's going to happen. It's already happening. This is reality for warehouse workers. If you're a warehouse worker or you know somebody that is a warehouse worker, you know, this is going to replace them, a lot of them. You'll still need people to maintain, you know, there's a thing. If you're a warehouse worker right now and you're worried about this, if you're an Amazon worker right now that's worried about this, what could you do to prevent that? Guess what's going to need to be done with these by a human being? They're going to need to be fixed. Go out and learn the skills and get a trade to learn how to fix robot devices. What does it take to be a Boston Dynamics robot technician? Let's see, Boston. Let's go to their website real quick. So let's take a look at this. So if you're working retail right now, if you're a warehouse worker, if you are anything, careers, look how quick I'm doing this. See job listings. And let's see, where's it going to, it's going to come up with a, okay, need a chief of staff. See how fast I can find something here. Here we go, got it. First one, Mountain View office, robots technician. Now they're not gonna tell you how much it's gonna pay, but full-time, debugging, testing, prototype, interface, external partners, develop skills, etc. Now we do, how much does a robot repair technician make? US dollars. Okay, it might be a Glassdoor thing we can check here. Salary expert. All right, we'll just click on the first one. Okay. So how much do you think a warehouse worker is making? 22. Okay. Robotics repair technician salary. This is an absolute need that is going to be in a growing industry going forward. This is your warehouse worker. This is your grocery person, and this stuff can be taught. Look, it's not that it's hard. It's that the person that's taking it up has to have the desire to learn a skill. So right now, average $56,809 per year. Not bad, okay? Let's say you start out as a robot tech, and let's say you're a warehouse worker, you're in your upper 20s maybe, been there for 8 years, and all of a sudden Boston Dynamics comes in one day and they have a demo unit of their robot that's maybe 1/10 scale. And they bring in 4 boxes and they line them up and they make one crooked and everything else. And the guy with the remote doesn't do anything. He just takes his little iPad and he goes, watch this. Boop. And then the little robot turns around and the little robot starts to take the boxes and put them on the pallet. Starts to take the boxes, rearrange them, put them on the rollers, stack them, rack them, get them going. All of that is being done in front of the employees. If you're one of those employees, what would you do? I get into this because here's where the future is. If you're going to turn yourself into a robot repair technician, and by the way, Dow down 42, NASDAQ down 75, S&P down 13. If you're going to turn yourself into a robot repair technician at 56,809, that is also going to open up a huge, huge opportunity for those that get into that now to become the next supervisors or managers of the newer robot techs a couple years down the road. So now you go from 56 to 69 because now you're a supervisor. And you just picked up a supervisor, you just picked up an 18% raise. Okay? So inflation might come in at 3%, so you get a 15% raise all in. Okay? 15%. Okay? So you take, 69,756 times 15% is 10,463 minus 15% for taxes. You're left after, if you start out making 56,809 and now you're making 69,756 in 2 years because now you're a supervisor, and you take out the taxes that you got to pay on that increase, you're left with an additional $8,800 a year in income after taxes, hypothetically. Okay? What would $8,893 do for you, which is $741 a month? What could you do with an additional $741 a month in income? Could you, I don't know, invest in the stock market? Take something like ARK that I bought 1,000 shares at earlier today at 2015, that I'm now up. How much am I up? I'm up $100 on it. $110 I'm up on it right now. So if you look at opportunities and you say, okay, Amazon, they're going to unionize. Do they think, are they that naive, the ones that are pushing these employees to vote yes for this, without fully disclosing that thousands of them are going to lose their jobs because of this? And you say, well, hey, the companies are assholes. They're assholes if they let go of these employees. They're beholden to the shareholders. They want to make money. If they can eliminate a job that a machine can do, then a machine can't vote to unionize. A machine can't vote to strike. A machine can't vote to call in sick. A machine can't vote to do a work slowage or work stoppage. Or, you know what, we're going to move today, but we're going to decrease the productivity by walking slower all day long. Every employee in the union that works in this shop. And now they're backlogging the packages, and the packages aren't going out, or the wrong packages get the wrong label on them. Just a mistake. It happens every day. I'm human. I don't know what to do. Versus somebody that codes software, and they code that software into one of these guys. Learn coding. Go take there are literally thousands of free coding courses out there that will teach people how to code. And then go over to Boston Dynamics, the company that is making these robots, and get in there and apply for a job. Well, I don't have the skills for that. Education data not available for the job. Salary potential, look at that. 5-year change, 10%. Okay. Gives cost of living. This is Salary Expert I'm looking at. I've never been to this site before. Okay. Cost of living by city. Okay. Get a robot job and go move to Graham, Texas. Tyler, Texas. Snyder, Texas. find a high skill in a low cost of living state with a national company, and they're going to pay you a little bit. They're going to pay you the same, except your dollar is going to go further, because if I look for a house in, let's see, Zillow, let's just go to Zillow, Graham. I can't type today. Okay, if I look at houses in Graham, Texas, and I say, how much are the houses here? Look at this. Look at this. This is crazy. 200,000, 210,000, 137,500, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. 340,000 for a 3,900 square foot home. That's what I paid for my house at 2,300 where I live. That I'm going to sell for over $6 million. I'm looking at 635,000 is a number I'm coming up with. 239, 755. You can get a 4,100 square foot house for $755,000. Okay, 85,000, 750, 68, 409, 49. Okay. One property on the river, 590,000, 1.56 acres. Now they're showing acreage. So, you know, where's Graham, Texas at? Oh my goodness. Look at this. So you can go pick up a house in Graham, Texas for $200,000 as a robot repair tech working for Boston Dynamics, fixing robots outside of Dallas-Fort Worth. You have an hour commute. What's the commute time from Graham, Texas? Dallas. I did. Likes you to click. It doesn't want to help you. Seriously? Graham, Texas to Dallas. I typed in Dallas, Texas. That's weird. Oh, okay, 2 hours. Okay, so it's a little longer, but you get the picture. Go find a career, because Amazon is going to simply replace. They're going to replace all these people. So if they unionize, good for them. Hope they write a good deal. They're basically negotiating for employees that are still there 3 years from now, when 3,000 of them don't have jobs because they're going to be replaced by computers, by robots. So that's what you're looking at. Okay, it's going to happen. All right, what's my arc at now? 2030. What did I say? 2034, right? 2034 gets me $200. Look at that. Look at that. Look at those candles there. I should have bought more at 2008. See, you second guess yourself and you start thinking, oh man, I should have jumped into that. But nice buy on that one. It lined up for me right. I did my little mini DD on it nice and quick. And it looks like I picked a nice bottom too. Didn't get in at the absolute bottom. You know, I got in 2015, but then whoop, up she goes. It's a good one. I got in over here, and it dropped to 2008. Everybody's freaking out. I didn't sell. I didn't buy more. Normally, I would have bought more, but it's a new issue. And my reward on that so far, I might keep it though. I'm up $160 on it right now. Overall on the day, I'm up about 3,200. So after a nice day yesterday, actually more. 456 plus. I'm up 3,700. I was up as much as 7,000 earlier. But again, I'm patient with this stuff, and let's take a look at those. So let's go back to the indices. Dow is now down 44. NASDAQ came back, down 50. Well, we're getting closer to lunchtime. S&P down 10. So what's going to happen during the New York lunch hour? What happened yesterday? Market go burr, and then it sold off later. But it held some of the gains. Uh-oh. Guess what? I just hit 2034. So, but what's it doing? So 2034, this chart looks good. This certainly looks good. So now, I'll show you this today. Hold on. Okay, let me do this and do this, and we'll throw you up here, and you guys can look at what I own. Okay. All right, so right here, this is everything I own in my margin account right now. So my margin account right now, I have 1,000 shares of ARKX. I'm up $140 on. It's dipping a little bit now. Okay. So it hit my 2034. I should have sold because now it dropped. I own some Ford. That's up 150 today. My short shares, my 4,000 shares shorting the S&P 500 is up 247. My options are up 2,209.75. I'm up 31.75 on my SQQQ options, and my U.S. oil leaps are down a little bit today. So that's what I own right now in my margin account. And ARK is at 2031. I got in at 2015 at $20.15. So that's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. So there you go. I just do that for integrity to show you guys that, yeah, I actually did buy 1,000 shares versus, no, you didn't. Yeah, I kind of did. All right. Elon Musk news. See, this is... All right. ARKX. Kathy Wood chose the name for this fund, or her marketing people did. And it's called the ARK Space Exploration and Innovation ETF. It's not called the ARK Space Innovation ETF. It's called the ARK Space Exploration and Innovative ETF. ARK Space X for short. Get it? SpaceX. SpaceX is not publicly traded. But the latest news story on ARKX says Elon Musk says Starbase will grow by several thousand people over the next year or two. Boca Chica. He basically bought the whole city. And SpaceX is not publicly traded. But anything space related in Elon Musk is going to probably drive ARK SpaceX ETF up. So take that for what it's worth. I like the stunk. And there you go. So I own 1,000 shares of ARKX. Okay. And what I will most likely possibly do is when the options chain comes out on it, and it will, is maybe I'll take some premium to hedge. And maybe I'll put in go out long term and buy some covered calls at like $50 a share. 30 to 45 days out, or we'll see once the option chain hits. And the options, that might be, I don't know how long. This is the innovation one, the ARK-K. So let's look at this one. So let's look at this one for a second. So I now own 1,000 shares of ARKX. Okay. ARK-K is the innovation ETF. That's at 112.81. Okay. So let's say I buy $200 shares. That's $22,562. and I say, okay, I like the stock, but I think the market's going to pull back. I have a bearish viewpoint on the market. What am I going to be willing to sell my shares at? 30 to 45 days out. Okay. So it's at 112, and let's say 112.81 plus 25%, and let's say 141. Well, it already hit 159. So let's look at some options on ARKK, and I'll pull this up for you on the screen here in a moment. And we say the May 7th is 39 days out. Okay. May 7th is 39 days out. And I'm going to find the out of the money calls. Okay. And let me find one here. Hold on a second. As I'm doing this, Dow pulling back a little bit. So is the S&P. You can see the VIX up to 21.2. Dow is down 71. NASDAQ down 57. S&P down 14. Okay. All right. So let me find a... Here we go. Yeah, but I want to go greater than that. $113. That's super low. Okay, here's a 127. All right. For grins and giggles, let's say I bought 200 shares of ARKK. All right. And I bought 200 shares of ARKK, and 39 days from now is May 7th. And I'm going to buy, since I own 200 shares, I'm going to sell 2 calls, okay, that's paying me a premium of $270 per share. 2.70 times 200. So I'm going to get $540 of income today. Boom. I bought the 2 calls. I sold the 2 calls. It's a covered call. So now I picked up $540 in premium. That hits my buying power right now. My 200 shares are now pledged as collateral against that covered call. Okay, so that's at 127. So let's say on May 7th, I just let it expire and I'm called away because the stock is at 130. Okay, so if it's at 275, you take 127 plus 2.75, and it would be higher than, it would have to be higher than 129.75 is my break even. It would have to be higher than that before I left profit on the table. But remember, I'm buying it at 112.81. So buying it at 112.81, now up to 127 minus 127, I also made $14.19 per share. Times 200 is $2,800 plus the 540 premium. If it doesn't get up to 127 and closes at 126, I still keep all my shares, but I also got $540 in premium. See? That's a covered call. All right. And it's got a delta below point. It's got a delta below 0.3, and it's at a cost basis that is not lower than the cost that I would have bought the shares at. So when this ARKX, since I now own 1,000 shares at 2015, when options start to get traded on those, I may look at purchasing some options out of the money 30 to 45 days out and still hold the shares. And then when those, if I buy the option to close it because I don't want to get exercised away, so if I buy another one at its at a lower strike or whatever the case is to close that position beforehand, because I don't want to get called away, or if I get called away, fine, whatever. Buy another 1,000 shares, sell another covered call 30 to 40 days out with a delta at 0.3 or below, with a cost basis higher than what I paid for, where I'm okay if they call it away. I'm okay selling it at X price. So maybe ARKK, or ARKX, sorry, maybe I'll be comfortable selling those 1,000 shares that I just bought at 2015 this morning. Maybe I'll be comfortable at selling those at 40 or 30 or whatever it is. Make sense? So that's what I'll look to do with ARKX. So since I now own 1,000 shares of it, and I did it hold my all right, so that one stopped. So let's oh, yep, delete. So now, so right now I'm up $190. Okay, so 15. So now let's set another alert, a little bit lower, and let's say $2025-ish. There we go. So now I'm going to set an alert at 2025. And the alert I'm going to set for 2025 is going to be if it crosses 2025 on the downside. All right. And if it crosses 2025, that equates to $100 of profit on my buy at 2015 because I bought 1,000 shares. So instead of setting a limit order to sell or a stop loss to get out, I don't want to tell the hedge funds, I don't want to tell the market makers that I'm willing to sell my shares out at 2025. So instead of setting a limit order to sell, I set an alert that if it drops to where my profit is only $100, I'll jump out and take my profit, and I'll set an order at that time and possibly sell it if it goes that low. So right now I'm range bounding this, and this one I can delete. Okay. So now I've got an alert set at 2025, which is about half the profit of my buy today, because it's at 2034 right now. I already made my $200. I'm up, or my 190. I'm up $195 right now on this buy. So usually, if I was scalping for the day, I would close that position right now, and I'd be like, I'm done, adios. But I'm still up like 3,200 on the day. I don't need to scalp it. Let's watch it. Let's hold on to it and let's see what happens today. Because if I look at my indices, which I just glanced over at, and I look at my indices and I say, okay, what's going on? Well, the Dow's down 82. It's off of its low of the day, right? It's off of its low of the day. It's off of its high of the day. What's the S&P doing? It's off of its low of the day. It's approaching its high of the day. What's the NASDAQ doing? NASDAQ is more of what we're doing here. Oh, that's going up off of its bottom. Big time. Wow, we might try and turn green today. Okay, down 33. So, as long as it's going to run, why not let it run? Now I can take that limit and I can say, okay, now it's here. Let's take it up to 2030. Okay. 2029.99. Okay. So now I'm saying, okay, I'm going to look at the 180 period on the 32nd. It's just it's a new chart forming. Look at this. You're seeing the birth. This white line is the birth of a 100-day period. Not 180. 180 bars of 30 seconds. So 180 times 30 divided by 2 is you're looking at 27 minutes. Okay. All right. That this has been going on. So this is the birth of a new 180. So now what's going to happen is the 200 is going to show up right near there in a little while too. So now I took it up to 2030, right? So now I'm 2030. So 15 cents times 200, or times 1,000, sorry. So now I set my profit level as an alert at $150. Okay. Why did I pick that number? 2 reasons. It's half of the profit I was willing to give up if it dropped down to 2025. But it's also where it dipped to before it ran back up again. You see this right here? This area here. Let's focus in on that. Okay. It dipped right to here. Now, I didn't pull the bottom of this wick. I didn't pull the bottom here, but I got it around that area. So if it drops to this level, I still have $150 profit. Based on the sentiment of the market, is the market crashing? Is it going down? Is it going up? What's it doing? I'll decide if I want to take that profit throughout the day today or not. Why? As a pure scalp, if it's going to trend down, I'll sell it, take the scalp, and I'll buy it back at a lower price again. And I'll run it again, and I'll run it again, and I'll run it again. And then when the options come out, then maybe because I own 1,000 shares, maybe I write only 5 call options against it. So I'll lock up for collateral 500 shares, still leaving me 500 shares to scalp on volatility. You with me? That's just that's what I see as a partial goal on a stock like this. Okay. So let me go to auto. There we go. Look at this. It's like having a new baby. We just birthed a 180 period line on the 30-second chart. Doesn't show up on a 1 minute yet, but that is a brand new technical analysis line that you're seeing live here. You wouldn't have seen this anywhere else. Where else would have you seen the birth of a 180 period line on a candle? Yeah, I know we're losing it, right? I'm losing it. I was already lost if you haven't figured that part out yet. Okay, so so that's looking pretty good there. 2034. Look. Originally, what did I say? When I bought this thing, I literally pegged it at 2034, and I said at 2034, I'm making $190, which is what I try and make each day scalping. Okay. I'm there right now. I should quit and go home. I should sell my 1,000 shares and go home. I'm not going to do that because if you look down below, the S&P 500 is going back up. The VIX is going down, back down to 21.0 now. And the NASDAQ is trying to climb back, right? On its 30-second chart. 3 minute, I'm sure it's got a buy way down here. There's your buy. There's your buy on the NASDAQ composite, okay? So as we look at this, and I'm sitting here and I'm up 190 bucks on ARK. Dow is down 70, NASDAQ's down 29.38, S&P is down 10, and we are 2.5 hours, or 2 hours after the stream, an hour and a half after it started. All right, let's look at the S&P 500 heat map. There's your change. But again, this is 15 minutes old data. And you can see like Tesla is now up. Look at that turn. That's a nice turn for Tesla, right? Where are we at? Look at Tesla. Whew. Nicely done. You would have bought the bottom down here. If you were that, let's say you bought it on the first candle up, doing like a little 3-bar play here. Look, late dojis. You're up 4%. You're up 23 bucks. Or if you put 20,000 into it, you'd be up 800 bucks on it right now. So, you know, I could have put a lot more money into ARK. But it is brand new. So I'm happy I'm in for 1,000 right now, for 1,000 shares. And it looks like I picked almost the bottom, right? I picked it over here, that 2015, right here. I picked it before it gave the buy. Why did I do that? Because I saw declining volume. I saw You know, let's take a look at let's look at this. Why did I buy this? Why did I buy this stock? Okay. So why did I buy this? All right. So let's go to the area that I hit the buy on. Well, it was on the 3-minute, I think, but well, let's look at right here. Okay. So we got in at 2015. Okay. I got in over here before the 3. I bought it here. I think it was right around here. What time did I buy that thing at? Hold on a second. We'll get an exact time. Where's my order status? Holy cow. I had a box disappear. I gotta find that thing. 9:54. So I bought it right here. Right here. 2015 is what I bought it. Okay. I bought it here. It settled in. Then it ran up. Then it ran up. Then it went down. But I didn't do anything. I didn't add to the position because the overall market was going down. So I didn't add to the position. I left it. And then by leaving it, I was able to participate in all this. And there she goes. Look at that. 2039.50 now. So there you go. Did anybody else buy the ARK X today? The ARK SpaceX? SpaceX is not in it. Again, full disclosure. Don't do what I do. Not financial or tax advice. Not a financial advisor. Look, we just did it. We have a new line. See this down here? Look at this. Brand new. First time. 200 period average on a 30-inch. On a 200 period average on a 30-second candle. There's the 200 forming. And we have the 50. So there we go, 2039.50. So now, this thing has already traded 7.8 million shares of ARKX has already traded. There we go. I like it. I like the stock. Okay. That's a good one. All right, cool. So now it's flattening out a little bit. S&P is turning down a little bit. VIX is turning up just a little bit, but still it's at 20.8, so that's still down. Or still up on the day. My shorts, my S&P 500 short is up a nickel. My SQQQ NASDAQ short is up 27 cents on the day. NASDAQ down only 20 now. S&P down only 10. Dow down 73. But what's up? The dollar is up today. The 10-year yield is up today, barely. And the 10-year is up today. But the dollar is actually, it was up 34.4. So it got up to 93.354. Okay. So 93.35. Minus 0.23. So it's pulled back 12 cents off of its high on the day. And that's why you see some of the indices recovering a little bit. I'm up $250 on ARK right now. So that's pretty cool. So again, I don't care where the market is at if I'm scalping. I could care less if I sold ARK right now and took my $250, okay, might not be a big decision to do that. But I am. Now I'm gonna leave my alert where it's at 2030, because we'll see what happens after lunchtime. But if I were to sell that and take profit, I may end up buying it back again at a higher price. Or what some people do is they'll scale, right? So maybe if it goes down to 2030 today, maybe I sell 500 of it, okay, and take, take my 170, take $175 of profit off the table. If it goes back down and then forms a new base of support, and bounces, maybe I buy some more and buy another 500. You know, we'll see. I would rather own this than scalp it long term, but I will certainly scalp it and keep buying it and selling it if I want to, if it can get me, because it's volatile. You know, who knows what this thing is going to go up to. Now, if you look at the ARK K and go to a daily and click auto and say, you know, this thing came out in 2015, and look at where it went after. You know, it's easy to pick where March is, right, of 2020. You know, $31, and it's back up to 114. But look at this sell-off from 159. You say, well, how does that happen when the NASDAQ is almost at record highs, the S&P's at record highs? Because it's all selective. You know, you have 100 companies in the NASDAQ 100. You have 30 companies in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You have, is it 30? I don't even know if it's still 30 or not. Is it? I think it is. Maybe not. You have 500 companies in the S&P 500. So selectively, companies will still perform either at, to, above, or below what the market is doing. The Dow is still 30 stocks. I honestly didn't know. I'm saying Dow Jones is only 30 stocks, and I honestly didn't know. Did they ever increase it? They still haven't increased it, which is good because you need consistency. All right, so let's look at this one here. So the ARK K Innovation ETF run by Cathie Wood. I'm not getting that one. Little pullback now. So I just moved my level up to 2035.09 for an alert. So that is protecting $200 of profit. So again, I don't set limit orders if I'm scalping, which is what I'm looking at this, and that's why I keep looking at it, because I bought 1,000 shares down here at 2015, and now I'm up to 2038. So I'm up $200, right around there, right? I'm up $235. I set an alert, and now I'm going to load it for 1,000 shares into my order screen, and I'm going to look at. It's at 2033 now. I'm going to look at 2035 because I have it in at 2035.09 is my alert. So my alert is at 20.3509. So I've got an order ready to go with a limit price of 2035, 1,000 shares. All I have to do is press my sell button to exit out if I decide to exit out. And I'll take a look at that and decide, you know, do I want to keep owning it for the day, or do I want to take my $200 and go home? Take my ball and go home. And as a scalp. But that's pretty good. So 2015 divided to, where's it at right now? 2038. That was a 1.13% scalp. That's where you say, man, I should have done 5,000 shares, right? Put 100 grand into it. But if I did 5,000 shares, maybe it hits 2008 and then goes down even further and hits 20 or 19, and then I'm backwards on it because you have no technical analysis here. This is pure luck on my part buying at 2015, and like what normally happens, you look at it and you kick yourself and say, oh man, I'm on the wrong side of the trade. Up there it goes. It only legged up. It was a bull trap. It was a bear trap. They bear trapped me. They talked me into buying over here. and then it sells off, and then it tanks. Nope. We did a little bit of technical analysis on it. It looked good. I like the holdings that are in it. You know, again, I did research on this one. I didn't just buy it blind. I took a look at what the holdings were of the stock, and I said, okay, am I comfortable owning these companies? Right? If you got the weighting here, you know, of these funds, and what's PRNT doing? An ETF inside of an ETF. Faceplant. Okay, there we go. So now I'm at $200 profit right now. Let's go back to a 30-second. I look at the market. I look what's going on. And I say, you know what? I'm holding. I have $200 of profit right now. Okay. Dropped again. Went back up. Interesting how how all of this is happening live right here at my level. Right at my level that I set on this thing, it's deciding what it wants to do. That's 3 times it's crossed 3509, but it hasn't dipped below 2035 yet. And I do not have an order set to sell. So right now it's deciding. It's consolidating a little bit. It came to its, on a 30-second chart, it came to its 50-period average. Well above its 180 and its 200 30-second average, right? 2035.5, 2036. So if I would have put that in at 2035 to sell, it would have sold. Because that's what it's at. Okay, there we go again. Now the S&P trying to consolidate a little bit. The VIX slightly going up. So again, I own 1,000 shares of ARKX, brand new issue today on high volume. Okay, there we go. Now we got the dip. Let's wait. I still have an order at 2035. I didn't place it. Oh, now that means it actually bounced back up. Just changed from 1,000 to 500 shares. So again, I'm in at 1,000 shares at 2015. As we're looking in, I don't know where the music went. Hold on a second. So still bid and ask 2034 by 2035. Now it's back up. I did not sell. Still in 1,000 shares. I changed my order back from 500 shares to 1,000 shares. I did not enter any order yet. Still at the same bid and ask. Hardly any shares being traded. Right. A lot of dark pool stuff going on. But somewhat slow. Dow Jones down 78. NASDAQ down only 36 now. S&P down 13. Look at the heat map. A little bit more green coming in here now. Tesla up. We already talked about that. It's up almost 1%. Up 877 right now. There was a green doji that immediately turned red. But again, we're on a 30-second. And the reason we're on a 30-second is it's a brand new trade. If I look at the 3-minute, the 3-minute told me to sell up at 38, 2038. Looks like we're just about on the 3-minute to get across on the moving average convergence divergence. But again, it's brand new. It just started trading today. It's a baby stock. Just hit its 180 on the 30-second. Just birthed a new 200 period average on a 30-second chart. Now we're 233.5. Now back up 2034. So now we're 2033 by 2034. VIX is starting to go back up. We're getting into lunchtime here. Almost 11:30 in New York. $8.43 million shares traded. Okay, there's a little green. I'm watching the time and sales. 2033 by 2034. Got some sells going on. 2033 by 2034. There's 2033. That's going to change the bid. So it's starting to do the same thing it did over here, right? Some little fake dojis. S&P just turned though, so now let's see what happens here. So 20 did not enter a sell order yet. S&P just starting to turn just a little bit, still down 12 on the day. Nasdaq down only 26. Dow Jones down 89. There's a little green doji on the 30-second. That's good. Oh, just turned red. See, gotta be patient. But that's. There we go. So the majority of the shares being traded on this right now are dark pool. So that means the majority of these shares are the OTC stuff that settles outside the market, over the counter. So it's your mutual funds, your hedge funds, things like that. The volume on the time and sales. I'll pull this up. Let me show you. Hey, get big. All right. So now here's your time and sales on the ARKX. We see our bid 20 excuse me, 2033 by 2034 is the bid and ask spread. Look at all the gray. And it's not flying by. You take something like there's a bunch of sells. There's a whole bunch of sells there. 2033, yep. May drop this one 2032. Nope, not enough. But there's some red, right? There's some red and grays. S&P settling out. Now we're 33 by 34. Where are the greens though, right? Where are the buyers? Buyers are nowhere to be found. I'm gonna should have listened to my 3-minute, right? Yep. Now we're down. Okay, so I think we're done with this. I'm gonna take my money. 2033. Let's see if we can get it. Do 500 at 33. Yeah. Okay. Put an order in to sell 500 at 20.33. See if I get a bite. So I'm making liquidity on the market by taking this side of the trade. I may not get filled though. I may have to adjust it. S&P bouncing up a little now. Sell volume not exceeding the last buy stuff, but it's extended. So we're going to we'll jump there. Still have a sell for 500 at 20.33, and I'm not getting any bites on it, like 0 bites on it at all. So let's change it. Okay, and it just filled. So I'm out of 500 at 20.33. So I just took $90 profit. So now I'm left with 500 up here at 2015. And of course, what do we get? We get a doji here, a big jump in the S&P, but that's okay. I still own 500. Time and sale, a little bit of green in there. So I took 90 bucks. I made 90 bucks. Same bid and ask. Again, no real retail side trading on this. S&P might be trying to go positive. We're down 9 on the S&P. NASDAQ going to go positive. It's down only 3. Dow is down 81. S&P 500 heat map. Got some green starting to come in here. Not participating. What's going on here? So you see the fact that this is happening with the NASDAQ, right? But this is settling in here. All right, I think we're done with this. Indecision time. 2033, 500. Let's see if we get it. Okay, so I've got another order in at 2033 to sell the other 500. There's 2033. That should have filled. I didn't fill yet. Somebody bought it. There's buyers at 2033. I'm just not matched up yet. Look at that consolidation. It turning green, then red, then green, then red, green, then red. Doesn't want to fill me. Hardly any volume going through on this right now, other than the dark pool stuff. All this gray is a dark pool. This is your mutual funds, your other ETFs. Maybe buying this ETF inside of an ETF. Your pension funds, your hedge funds. And they're battling a little bit here, but they're not doing anything. Still not. Oh, it did fill. Okay, I'm out. All right, so 2033, I sold all 1,000 shares at 2033. So I made 18 cents on it. So I walked away with 180 bucks. Made $180. There we go. Simple as that. Okay. Now, of course, it's going to go moon. Now it's going to go to 2040, 2045, probably hit 2070 and sell out from there. All right. So that's it. That's going to do it for me for this portion. And again, I will be back in 3 hours. I'll be back at 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern time for the close of the show. And until then, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you this afternoon for Power Hour. Have yourself a great morning. I hope you made some money today as the market's coming back. And we'll see y'all later. Bye now.